Hello and welcome to this edition of the Manx Newscast with me, Beth Espy. Now this is a conversation which really opened my eyes to what's happening, in all reality, not that far away from us. I was talking to the Vice Chair of the Manx Motorcycle Club, Jim Hunter, very well known to motorcycle fans over here on the Isle of Man because he's one of the travelling marshals, but he's also an incredible charity fundraiser and somebody who really does go above and beyond to look out and look after other people. As I speak, he is in the Ukraine, and so I caught up with him to find out what he'd been doing there.
There's actually three of us here. We're actually driving through Kyiv, and driving the car is Israel Gillette. And Israel's a Southern 100 competitor, and he's also, I think, done one of your Journey to a Dream podcasts. Sat behind me is Ronnie Russell, of course, a past Manx Grand Prix competitor. So the three of us have been on this little excursion from Romania into Ukraine, and we've driven up to Kyiv, and we're visiting two schools. We visited one school down in the southwest of the country, and we provided some multimedia facilities for them, so they've got a projector to use in the hall and classrooms, and lots of sports equipment. And then today we've been in a school, it's called the ORT Lyceum School, Kyiv, 1,500 students. It's right in the centre of town. Their problem as a school is that their power supply gets affected when there's any sort of attack. And in the winter, of course, it's extremely cold. They needed some equipment that they could use to provide power when the mains electricity goes off. So thanks to donations from people mainly associated with the Manx Grand Prix, we were able to buy this uninterrupted power supply. It cost us, through donations, cost around about €4,500. And we bought a lot of modelling equipment to give out to the students in school today.
And Jim, I think it's fair to say that you've had a real insight into what typical now daily life is like for people living in Kyiv.
Yeah, there's a couple of things that caught us out. One is when we first arrived on the Saturday evening, we went out for something to eat and get a drink. Kyiv was absolutely bustling with people. And then just when we're thinking about perhaps getting one more drink in another bar, everybody disappears and the bar's closed because there's a curfew at 11 o'clock. Didn't realise that. People do adhere to it, and there's like absolutely nobody around. And then last night we had the hotel and the city air raid sirens went off. I was up out of bed, straight down to the basement and into the air raid shelter. There's one or two other people there. Then it didn't seem like anything was going to happen, so I went back up to my room, took a look out the window from my hotel room, and there was a Russian drone attack taking place. I was pretty stressed about that. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night, to be honest. But the startling thing is, when I got up, it wasn't on any of the locals' radars. That's just the way it is now, and we get these attacks on a daily basis. When we were at the school today, that was another fascinating part of it. It's 1,500 students at the school, 170 staff. They do have three huge basement air raid shelters. When the air raid siren sounds, then it's obligatory for the staff and students to go down into the shelter. Staff are telling us how stressful some of the younger children, primary school children, find that, because sometimes the internet goes down, sometimes the mobile data goes down. They want to go home and see their parents, and they can't because they have to stay in the shelter. So, but like I say, it doesn't seem to be such a big deal for them today. We spoke to lots of students today, absolutely outstanding students at the school. They just talk very matter of fact about how dealing with the air raids and disruption to your power supply. Some days not being able to go to school because of the heightened risk of an attack. That's just become part of their daily routine. It's very humbling. It's really, really quite humbling.
Did you get a sense, Jim, of what you all being there and the donations, did you get a sense of what that means to everybody there?
I'm sure Israel and Ronnie would agree with me here now that since we've arrived, we've been made to feel so welcome. And the first school that we went to, the head teacher of that particular school, after we'd had a look around and we'd made a little presentation, he said, look, you have to come back to my house. We've prepared some lunch for you. We had this absolutely outstanding lunch and all his family was there. And then afterwards, he got his accordion out and he started singing the songs with other members of staff at his school. It's just been a real feel-good event for us. When I say feel-good, I think we've just been made to feel so welcome. The things that we've been able to provide because the donations have been given have been really very well received. They've really appreciated it. It's been really worthwhile.
And from your point of view, obviously, with your school background, just knowing what a difference you're making to these young people who are having to go through some unthinkable things and unthinkable stresses, it must be really heartening for you from that point of view, just knowing you're making a difference in young people's lives.
Yeah. Well, the first thing on the agenda this morning, because they did an itinerary for our day at the school, was a 10-minute discussion with some equivalent to Year 10 students. Anyway, that 10-minute discussion turned into a 1-hour discussion because they just kept firing questions about how life at St Ninian's High School differs from life in the ORT Lyceum School Keith. I suggested to them that perhaps when we get back to the Isle of Man, one of the things we could do is set up some Zoom classroom conversation type things, and because I'm sure that both parties will get an awful lot out of that.
And Jim, what's the plan now? Are you staying out there for a little bit longer, or are you heading home soon?
Well, as we speak now, we're just driving out of Kyiv. We'll hopefully get maybe an hour outside, around about a 7-hour journey to the Ukraine-Romania border. Actually getting through the border is a little bit of an unknown. Sometime on our way into Ukraine, it took maybe half an hour, but Ronnie and I have certainly had experiences in the past where we've been there for half a day. So you don't know how long it's going to take to get back into Romania, and then we're catching a flight from Romania on Wednesday evening, and Ronnie's flying back from Gatwick, I think, and I'm catching the boat. I'm going to call and see my daughter at the Free University, and then catch the boat back on Thursday, hopefully. The other thing that's come out of this little trip here now, we've got Israel, and yesterday we had a trip between Kyiv and the Chernobyl nuclear plant, and we travelled through lots of parts of Ukraine that was previously occupied by the Russians back in 2022 and the invasion. And that was with a guy called Lenny. Lenny's a huge biker, so we're just thinking, okay, the thing that brought us together was, our love of riding bikes. That's it. And pretty much all of the donations to buy this €4,000 heat exchanger and things we bought for schools and the projection facilities, the vast majority of that is through people that we know through, our common interest in riding bikes and motorcycling, and particularly I have to say the Manx Grand Prix. So people have just been so generous. So honestly, it's been a great thing to experience coming along, but we couldn't have provided the things we provided without their support.
Thank you for making it to the end of the Manx Radio Newscast. You are obviously someone with exquisite taste. May I politely suggest you might want to subscribe to this and a wide range of Manx Radio podcasts at your favourite podcast provider, so our best bits will magically appear on your smartphone. Thank you.